I'm going to start this oil painting figure study walkthrough by messing up. When I started this freehand kind of underpainting outline, I made it a little too big, so I just wiped it clean and started fresh. So this time when I started over, I made the figure details, the head, and some of the body proportions a little smaller to give myself a little more room. Kind of bizarrely, what I did is I caught myself into a trap on this one. I made the head smaller, but I only made the body slightly smaller, so what I ended up with was a head that was smaller than I intended. So that is one of the many ways that I kind of messed this one up. Ultimately, it didn't turn into a bad painting. In fact, I thought the end result was pretty solid, but there were definitely some issues with it as I got along. So as I mentioned, I did an underpainting, and I do that for all of these. Just kind of oil paint thin down with linseed oil, try and freehand the body proportions, which, is something that I've practiced a lot, but sometimes I just don't get it right. It's something that happens. So once I've got that rough outline down, I start filling in some shadows and some other details, kind of working dark and then trying to block in colors and get a little lighter. So another thing that happened with this one, kind of the origins of this painting, it's very similar. It's actually another version or another take on a previous portrait that I did, actually not that long ago. I think it was probably 4 or 5 portraits ago. I kind of had a rough start on that one too, and I wanted to try another interpretation of it. So I did with this one. And in some respects it turned out better, in some respects it turned out worse. I mentioned the head proportion was just not right on this one, a little too small, a little too narrow. Another difficulty I had, you can see that the subject has a white shirt here, and my grays and whites, for some reason they just were too streaky, too obvious. I didn't get the right confident brush strokes with certain aspects of it, which was kind of an issue. So good things that happened though. Really like the background. I wanted kind of a dark greenery, like foresty kind of look, and I was able to get that by getting some really nice umbers mixed with sap green and just getting some dark shadows in there. So that was kind of fun. So on this one, another issue that I had is the camera angle. You can see there aren't a lot of actual brush strokes in this time lapse. It's really a lot of just sort of phases of the painting. It's because my head was in the way through most of it. So I had to cut a lot of content out of this video, which is unfortunate. That's a mistake that I don't often make, but this time I did. My head just blocked so many shots. So that was another problem. You can see in this stage of the video though, I actually I came back to this one later and went back after some aspects of the head. I tried to make the head a little wider and a little bigger, kind of change the hairline, just do some touch-ups, try to fix some of the mistakes that I made. And I got part of the way there, but one of the issues with trying to do that is the eyes, nose, and mouth are still kind of the same size when you did the whole head small or too small. So trying to come back and make it wider and taller doesn't get you all the way there as if you had started with the correct head size in the first place. So I do think it got part of the way there, but it kind of warped some of the features and sort of changed kind of the overall impression of the piece, which is not the end of the world. I crank out enough of these paintings that, if I get one that's just, a 6 out of 10 or something, at least for my opinion, that's not the end of the world. I just move on to the next one. So, again, the end result with this one was good. There's some nice things that happened here. I think the contrast and color values were really good. The textures were not great in the shirt. Had some hair issues as well, I guess, but overall solid, not a bad piece. So that's kind of how this one goes. Just some pitfalls that I ran into I thought were interesting and I could kind of share them. So thanks for watching this one, and I hope to see you for the next painting.